It turns out hating Trump with a fiery rage can give you more stamina than an energy drink. Senator Cory Booker proved it.
I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able.
The senator from New Jersey gave a marathon Senate speech that lasted till the next night. It was a whopping 25 hours and 5 minutes long.
Would the senator yield for a question?
Chuck Schumer, it's the only time in my life I can tell you no.
I just want to tell you a question. Do you know you have just broken the record? Do you know how proud this caucus is of you? Do you know how proud America is of you?
The previous record holder was Senator Strom Thurmond, who filibustered the Civil Rights Act in 1957. He had the longest solo speech at 24 hours and 18 minutes. So Booker went so long that when the Senate was supposed to gavel in at noon, he was still going. So Booker did disrupt Senate business. However, his speech was not a filibuster. Confusing, right? Because he wasn't actually filibustering anything. In the Senate, the filibuster is specifically used to delay the passage of a bill. If you're a classic movie buff, you've probably seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which brought the filibuster to Hollywood.
A man who controls a political machine and controls everything else worth controlling in my state. Yes, and a man even powerful enough to control congressmen, and I saw 3 of them in his room the day I went up to see him. Senator, yield. No, sir, I will not yield.
But there was no bill to delay in this case. Booker was just hyperventilating at the podium about the big bad orange man, and then he basically gave his colleagues a day off from work. So all that spittle, and he didn't even delay an actual Senate vote. But he still somehow made it on the Senate website under filibusters as breaking a record. This was not a filibuster. But when Booker broke that record, the Democrats posted this on X. Maybe this performance was the brainchild of Booker's digital team to boost his TikTok. If you're not familiar with TikTok Live, brands use it to stream 10-hour, 12-hour, however long, real-time videos to sell products. The algorithm loves it, and companies make bank.
I've been working so hard with my colleagues trying to get them to engage in social media, put more of their heart and spirit out there. They're doing an amazing job. They've almost quadrupled their numbers of engagement online. I've got colleagues opening up TikTok accounts, but I suddenly realized that I've just got to do something myself.
And the strategy worked. Booker's TikTok Live got more than 340 million likes on the app. And naturally, Gen Z thought it was very memeable. This was just Gen Z bait, wasn't it?
He promised to lower your grocery prices, they're higher. He promised I'll be a better steward of the economy. The economy is worse.
The usual suspects are praising Booker for the clown show. The Atlantic called him Cory Booker, endurance athlete. The New York Times praised his stamina and moxie. They called his speech an oratorical marathon.
Lift every voice and sang till earth and heaven rang with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound like the rolling sea.
This from the Hill, no bathroom breaks, how Booker accomplished record Senate speech. Apparently Booker stopped eating on Friday and refrained from drinking on Sunday evening, a full 24 hours before he began speaking. If he had to leave the Senate floor for any reason, he would have yielded his time, ending his chance at that record for longest speech that didn't actually delay a vote again. But I digress. Even Kamala Harris crawled out of the woodwork to praise Booker for, quote, lifting up the voices of the American people harmed by the current administration. I believe that Kamala's amazement is genuine, since she can barely speak for 25 consecutive minutes, let alone hours. And funny, there's absolutely zero mention of the epic takedown by Senator Ted Cruz in 2013 when he filibustered Obamacare. I don't believe we got any puff pieces then calling Cruz an endurance athlete.
Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Wow, he was so young. At the time, I found this very entertaining. So why didn't Cory Booker wait to make his mark when the Senate had a bill to vote on? Because the Democrats typically hate the filibuster because it's often politically inconvenient for them. They hate how Republicans use it to block their radical agendas from getting ramrodded through. So like with everything, they just call it racist.
Do you believe the filibuster should be abolished? And if not, how can Democrats get stuff done?
I believe it should be abolished. It should be abolished because it is an archaic procedure that was put in place basically many, many years ago, used to try to stop civil rights legislation.
Not too long ago, and by that I mean last November, the Democrats were very in favor of killing the filibuster. I mean, they ran on this as part of their platform.
The Senate has their own things. They have kind of their norms and their customs, but in order,
Maybe some of those norms. I'm just going to say I don't know where you stand,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing you and I are probably the same on the filibuster. But
oh
you know,
yeah, we got to
you
get
know,
rid
yeah.
of that thing.
They said it was a relic of the Jim Crow era.
And if all this takes eliminating the filibuster, another Jim Crow relic, in order to secure the God-given rights of every American, then that's what we should do.
And remember when Kamala Harris was ready to axe the filibuster to pass the Green New Deal? Oh yeah, those Democrats, they just love democracy and its institutions.
Here's my point. If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
Even Booker in 2022 said the filibuster was a toxic tool. He said it was abused to stop reforms supported by the vast majority of Americans. From background checks to protecting the right to vote. He said we must stop this abuse of power. And then he went and used it, although he didn't use it because it wasn't a filibuster. So when Booker wants national attention, he can boast that he's the record holder for a solo Senate speech. But when Booker wants to toe the party line, he can say, oh, no. It wasn't a filibuster. That is, if the Democratic Party is strategic, but they also called this speech a filibuster on their X account, a post that's still up, by the way, when it didn't meet the criteria. So Democrats like Cory Booker are using this interim time between the administrations to make a name for themselves, just like California Governor Gavin Newsom, who recently started a podcast and had Charlie Kirk, of all people, on. For more on that, click here.